At almost the exact moment President Obama took the stage at a Caterpillar plant in Peoria to pitch his stimulus package, Judd Gregg, his Republican nominee to be Commerce Secretary, issued a statement withdrawing his nomination, citing irresolvable conflicts. Late today, he explained why.
And I realize that to withdraw at this point is really unfair in many ways, but to go forward and take this position and then find myself sitting there and not being able to do the job the way it should be done on behalf of the president, 100%, it would have been an even bigger mistake.
In a statement, White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs said it was Gregg who had pursued the job. He was very clear throughout the interviewing process that despite past disagreements about policies, he would support, embrace, and move forward with the president's agenda. We regret that he has had a change of heart. A top Democratic source on Capitol Hill was more blunt, saying Gregg actively campaigned for the job, then erratically dropped out without warning. Gregg's withdrawal comes just 9 days after his nomination was announced.
This is not a time for partisanship. This is not a time when we should stand in our ideological corners and shout at each other.
White House officials say Gregg, one of the Senate's most fiscally conservative members, started having misgivings in recent days, primarily because of differences over spending. Other sources say Gregg was getting, quote, hammered by fellow Republicans for selling out. Gregg is the third of the president's cabinet nominees to withdraw, following Bill Richardson, who was the first choice for Commerce Secretary, and Tom Daschle, who had been Mr. Obama's choice to run the Department of Health and Human Services. In an interview with a local newspaper, the president said Gregg's decision came as, quote, something of a surprise that overshadowed a day that was supposed to be all about selling the stimulus at this Caterpillar plant in Peoria. Katie?
Chip Reid. Thanks very much, Chip. Bob Schieffer is our chief Washington correspondent and anchor of Face the Nation. Bob, this seems so strange, particularly the timing. Why do you think Gregg had this sudden change of heart?
I tell you, Katie, this is either the weirdest thing that ever happened in Washington, or we have found one honest man. I mean, he says, look, I was offered the job. I said yes, but then when I thought about it, I decided, well, maybe it's not the right fit. I do know his own party was giving him a lot of static. They felt he was selling out. There was not much support for this stimulus package. But when you think back on it, Katie, surely when they were talking to him about this, the Obama people must have told him what was coming down the road here. This one is just, there's a lot of questions here and not many answers.
Well,
tonight,
let me ask you a follow-up question, Bob. Does this once again raise issues about the Obama administration's vetting process?
Well, I don't think it can help but do that. I mean, they'll get by this. They'll find a Commerce Secretary. But to have these incidents happening over and over again, this does not help this administration's credibility. There's no other way you can say it.
All right. Bob Schieffer in Washington. Bob, thank you.